right, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of season 2 of the Masters Monday podcast. We have some very unique and special guests today that this girl right here, that one, has a little bit of history with. So we're going to let her go through all of that. So why don't we go ahead and just get this thing rolling with your introduction and your relationship and how you guys have a little history.
Okay, well, we have a big history together. I am super excited to present Cortney Gornall and Viveca Jensen of Piloxing. I cannot say it any other way, but in the Swedish, most beautiful way possible. Piloxing. Piloxing is a brand that started 2010-ish. Is that right? 10? I was 2011 certified. Got certified right at the beginning and by Cortney, actually. Cortney certified me a long time ago, and it was awesome. Viveca Jensen really started out, and she has a great history, and I really want her to actually be the one to tell you. So I'm going to introduce Viveca really quickly, and then we're going to talk about how Cortney and her joined together and started this amazing brand that has grown worldwide. It's crazy. So let's get started with Viveca Jensen. Tell us all about you in 2 minutes or under.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I am from Sweden originally. I came out to Los Angeles as a dancer and had my career here as a dancer, and then my career stopped for different reasons. It was an injury. Also, I got my lovely daughter at that time period there, and then I found Pilates. So I got certified in Pilates. Okay, so on that way it was, and actually I met Cortney teaching Pilates in my apartment at that time. But then later on, I said, I'm going to do a group fitness class because that's really my movement of being in front of people was what I wanted to do. So I created this class that was multiple faceted, but like I want to dance in it, of course, and I wanted Pilates in it. And then I also wanted the power of boxing because I also boxed my way through my education of being a dancer. I also got that other side of me. So I was a jack of many trades, so to speak. And I wanted to put that in one exercise because of me being then at that time a single mom. I didn't have that much time. So I wanted it all in an hour. So I created this exercise, tested it out on Cortney. Yeah. And I was like, do you like this? Yeah, okay, yeah, it's burn, it's good. So we started that and we put it out and just got our clients coming in, like in my Pilates studio. We put it out in LA. People came to the class and we're like, oh, they like this class. Great. We are ready to open a studio. So we opened a Piloxing studio. Okay. And at that time, we had a lot of people. Me and Cortney taught 27 classes a week, only her and me, because we didn't have nobody else. Super skinny.
Yeah. Just fighting.
Yeah. And then on that time, we Natasha and I was friends. We were friends. She's a lawyer, and she got to school for being a lawyer, and then we kind of like got friends. All three of us came together, and at 2009 we had these classes going on, and in 2010 she came in also in our business, Natasha. In 2010 we decided, let's make a brand out of this and certify instructors. So yes, you weren't just 1 year later.
Yeah. Yes, and I always share this story how Viveca, like I was watching at one of the booths and she came, I was watching this woman, beautiful blonde hair, like kicking ass on this, I was like, what is this? And I was not a dancer. I didn't do that. And Viveca came up, she said, you want to do my class? I'm about to teach. And I said, I don't do this. No, you'll be there. And I was like, okay,
that sounds like Viveca.
We walked right in and she kicked my butt, and that's it. That's all she wrote. And then came in Cortney.
So Cortney, I have a question for you. Really, there's 3 modalities going on. How many meetings, how many weeks, how many months did it take for the final product.
Yeah, I would love that. That's.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, see, Viveca is just super creative and on the spot. So she can turn on music and it just flows out of her. It just becomes what the class is. And so when we first started, I was like, well, what's the structure behind this class that you're doing? Is there like, you know, do you do a segment of something and then you switch over to the, I was trying to figure out the rhyme or reason. Long story short, no, it was just whatever the music told her to do.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
So we had I sat outside of the class and I would jot down what she did. And then we had to come up with a formula essentially that would be teachable to other people because you know, we can't teach people to just listen to the music and feel it.
Well, you know what's interesting? Because I do curriculum building, right? And you did it backwards. You did it in reverse. You took the instinctive Viveca, her instincts, and then you watched it, and then you wrote down. Usually, you write everything down, and then you have someone go do it. You're a pioneer, Viveca. You're a pioneer.
She's a true artist and a true amazing. So yes, having both those brains. So you already said that Cortney kind of came in as a client with the Pilates, and then you joined together, and that relationship is held tight and true for this many years,
which is very unique.
How many different brands now, or how many different workouts from Piloxing now do we have?
We have 5. So we have, the first one is called Piloxing SSP because our brand is Piloxing now, and that was just Piloxing in the beginning, you know. So the brand is Piloxing, but so now we have the Piloxing SSP. That's the biggest still and going really strong, and because it's very unique. And people had a hard time to copy that one. and then we came out
though, right?
Yes. And then we came out with Piloxing Knockout and Piloxing Bar was very close up on each other because we kind of had those exercises in the studio, but then we brought it out get instructor to be certified. So we brought out Knockout first. Piloxing Knockout, then it's the HIIT training exercise. And then we had Piloxing Bar, and that is bar. We have a belly bar and also Pilates and boxing over the bar, and that was also unique. And then we launched a dance program because I wanted to go back to my roots. It's all about me. I was kidding. No.
Okay.
No, I got inspired because I took a lot of dance classes after like 20 years of being in any dance classes. I actually went back and that got me inspired. So I said, let's do a dance class that is from LA based, like because LA dancer is what commercials and they all hear.
Right.
So I wanted to do an LA based commercial dance group fitness class. Mm-hmm. So we did. It's called The Mix.
Yeah. By the
Piloxing. And then this year, we just launched Piloxing Booty Builder. Yeah. And that is more of a functional training. And that's the first time we have our tools of the gloves in Piloxing SSP, the Knockout. We have also gloves, weighted gloves on a hand and in bar, not in the dance program, but Piloxing Booty Builder is the first time we're using like a tool. We're using bands in this. So we are using the tool in the whole 30 minutes class.
But bands are really hot right now.
And accessible.
And very accessible.
And cheap.
Yeah, exactly. And they work. So I'm really happy to see that. And I was happy when I got to see this past year at FIBO that you're launching in this new product in 5 of them. I'm certified in 3 of them. One, you know that one, the Mix.
God, dang,
poor thing.
It's okay. It's okay.
I hear you on that one, but I have to say it's really, really fun. I did tap dance and that kind of dance, so this kind of dancing was intimidating, but this class is super fun, and you kind of just don't care, and you feel like you're actually a dancer, even if you're not.
You can make it like I look good, but I usually feel like I look like Beyonce when I dance, and then I look at the video, I'm like, that is not Beyonce.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah,
so,
don't look at the video.
Yes,
exactly.
I will definitely be taking that one, and I'm really excited about the booty band for sure. And we want to know more about.
We do. So here is my next one, and you can share the answer of this question. When you're building a program, so you have 5, when you're building the programs, do you think about different cultures in Europe, in Asia, in the US? Do you just go with your gut? Is there a method behind that? Like, tell me a little bit about the cultures that you're experiencing, and if you guys put that into play when you're designing for everyone.
I'm going to take this a little bit, and then Cortney's going to need to take this too. I think when I come up with the new programs, it's an inspiration. My brain is not stopping of thinking of new things. So the inspiration of doing, what do you say?
Ever.
I literally have a few more that the guy, Cortney and Natasha go, stop. But so that is an inspiration, and then we kind of look in it, where is that a good launch for us to do? When then we actually have learned, this is the funny thing, and Cortney can take this, because we almost every program we have done, we have gone back to it and configure it a little bit different. And I'm not saying almost every one of them, right. I say in every one. So when we did this last one, me and Cortney worked really close together on the booty program here. We were like, are we thinking about everything? Right. And I mean everything. We went back and back on how will they be able to do this? How will other people be able to get this counting in music? So we are hoping that we're not going to have to go back on this program and kind of like
Well, I mean, after you launch multiple programs, you learn from what you did before. You learn from your mistakes, really, and you start to see, well, that worked or that didn't work. So you try to apply it to the next program,
right?
And then on and on it goes. So that's what we tried to do with this. We tried to be really forward thinking of every possible direction it could go. But funny things happen. You talk about culture. Like, for example, we were in Japan, and we had launched Poloxing SSP, and they kept asking us, when's the break? When do we get a water break in the class? And we're like, oh, just whenever, you just go grab a water and come right back. And they said, absolutely, no. We only do it if we're permitted to do it. So like the teacher has to say, okay, everyone stop, grab a water and come back. And we're like, oh, we didn't know. Like, these are the things you just don't know culturally that are.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
So yeah, now there's a designated time for water.
Okay. No, but that's what I was kind of interested in, because I'm sure when you look at, the overall sales of the programs and everything, you look at it country by country, and I'm sure there's some favorites in Europe and certain countries in Europe, and then you go to Asia, they have their favorite programming. Is that really distinct and easy to identify?
There are definitely trends in that, for sure. I think that some of the more aggressive, our knockout program that is a lot more intense doesn't go in all locations. Like, it's not as popular in Asia, for example. But they really, really latched on to the dance program. Loving. Like, Korea is loving the dance program.
Oh,
it's
great.
something they super embrace. So you do see those trends for sure.
Right. Well, I do want to talk a little bit about what's Poloxing done now. I don't want to say with COVID, because I know that you guys have kind of taken this forward thinking of training online prior to this, which I think is exceptionally brilliant, especially since it's such an international market. To be able to have master trainers around the world, it's such a huge responsibility managing master trainers, even though we were lovely and easy to manage, but it's a lot to manage. So this online, training, how is that going? How did that come about? And how do you quality control?
Yeah, that's a really good question. there was a need. I mean, we can't have a master trainer in every state of the United States, for example. That's a lot, talking about managing.
Yeah.
So we needed to spread, and the fitness shows are only in certain areas, as you know. There's 7 maybe places in the US, for example, where there are these popular fitness shows going on. So we needed to get beyond that. And with social media being the marketing thing these days, that's the biggest marketing tool that we have. It is easy to reach other states now, you know, whereas in the beginning, if you weren't at a show in Florida, you didn't know about who we were.
Right.
And so we thought, why not have this digitally so that people can just tune in from wherever they are? And it has gone crazy. When we do trainings, I mean, we have people from all over the world that even stay up overnight just to take the training, because right now we were hosting them prior to COVID only in the US. And people wanted to come so bad that they didn't have a training close by to them in whatever country they were in, and they would stay up all night and take the training.
They would go 3 in the morning.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, it seems to me that you guys, in your timing, you really positioned yourself months ago for this unknowingly. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and we also position ourselves by unknowingly that we are 3 owners, the lady, us 3 that are leading this, and then we all have employees, but we are working virtually.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So already we were working virtually with, so we were like, oh my goodness, we already had that done, because it was, when we started working virtually, of course, that was like, how is this going to go?
Yes.
How do we
Right.
connect? And how do we feel like a team and all that stuff? So we already have gone through that little hardship, and we didn't have to deal with that. We had to deal with a lot of stuff though when this happened, because now everybody needed to be able to teach to their students. You know, our memberships for our PM members, as they call, if they can't teach, they can't reach out. They don't want to become. Don't want to stay members. Right? So we pushed to really stay on our platforms to make them be supportive in be able to teach on Zoom and so on.
That's exciting, because I've actually saw a lot of what you guys are offering, which everyone wants to take a class from Viveca and Cortney. I mean, that's like, they'll wait forever to take a class. I mean, she's amazing. So I see that you're doing live through the PIA, sites, and live just for them. So I think that's fantastic. The quality control thing, I'm really curious about though. So do you get nervous? Like once you're doing a virtual training, when I used to teach and train, it was very hands-on. I know you're very hands-on. Is that hard for you, Viveca? I mean, how do you feel about once you release them into the world and be like, here you go? Do you require video content to come back to you of them teaching, or how does that work?
Well, when they started to teach, even in person, right? You get them to, and that's the master trainers that do that. They get them up to a certain point, and we've been training them. Courtney's been really connected with the master trainers, continue education for them. But then you have to just trust them. And sometimes we ask them to show something, and then we see them on shows and so on. And now when we do this virtually, we can come in.
Yeah.
To the room. Yeah, you can go into the room. Yes.
And see them.
So there's some advantages. There's some advantages. Would you agree?
Yeah,
okay.
Completely. And we have noticed that when you do training virtually, it's a different experience, because typically you're sitting in a room with a master trainer up front. And if you're a participant, you're sitting in that crowd looking at only the master trainer. This is a different experience. You're sitting and facing everybody else's face.
Right.
You see their name on the screen, and so does the master trainer. And so the interaction becomes very personal. It's like, Carrie, da-da-da-da-da-da, Viveca, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
And so this interaction almost feels a little bit more connected, even though you can't physically touch them. So I feel like people are leaving there very connected, and to one another. And we even started WhatsApp groups so that Once you get licensed, you're dumped into a whole group of, let's say Piloxing knockout virtual graduates.
Right.
And then you guys have a similar, experience, and then they can ask questions just directly. And it's easy to just, instead of sending a formal email, it's just, hey, where do I download that music again? And so you can support them in a different way. And you really feel like they know you and you know them differently.
Yeah. A lot of the trainers in New York City work off of that app.
Right.
They create these groups off of WhatsApp, and they're working off of that. I know you have a humongo question for them.
I do.
Yes,
I
you
do.
do.
I do. Okay. Well, I'm also very respectful of Viveca. I know you have a client coming up, but can you just give me like your biggest Piloxing highlight moment where you just went, wow, we've just done some big stuff here. Like, what was that moment?
Wow. You know what? I was thinking about this question, and then I mean, there's absolutely a couple of things that stands out, and then I was thinking, wow, why don't I remember those times in the beginning that then it was a wow, and I think I was so like go in the beginning of this,
right.
But I don't think I like really took that in. That took me a while. I have to say that I was very looking back on my developer of being just me. That's also been huge, and I now more than ever take time to like think about where I am, and even more connecting with the people and the team, because I felt a lot of writing on myself in the beginning, and I'm a perfectionist in myself about how I want it, and I knew I had to deliver, because for me, I know you have to affect the people in front of you. And not to say, I know also I could do that,
Right?
but only if I put everything in that. So it was very hard for me to split myself, to be really caring about everybody around me, because they were nervous too. But I was so like this, and the team, we were working, we had fun on stage, but I was so like, let's go, and that was more could be like a little detrimental sometimes when I got off a big machine and so on, because I was already raving in my head the whole time.
Right.
Later on the years, I relaxed a little bit better and understood, like, enjoy it more. And when I enjoy it more, obviously everybody.
Cortney, is she enjoying it a little more, Cortney?
This is true. It really is. I feel like one day we both were able to just go, what just happened? I mean, years went by, but like, finally our eyes weren't blurry and we could see, because we had a second to breathe. And it was like, I think, for example, we hosted our own event. Yes. And like, it was like, we created this. This just came from years and years and years and years and years of work, and like coming off of that stage and standing back and watching our team members do it while we stood on the ground, me, Viveca, and Natasha, crying.
The best.
Yeah, I just got chills.
But you know what? You do have to put your head down and sprint for a couple of years. And that's what people maybe not understanding in the age of quick gratification, like it all happens so fast, you know? If people knew, guys like you, your stories and the sweat and the 20-hour days that went all into this, that's really and truly what it takes. It is very unusual for it not to go through that process. Now, we definitely want to get Viveca out of here, okay? So we want to know all the social media outlets. How can they find more information about Piloxing? And that's all of what you guys do. Carrie, anything else?
No, I want to, just wrap that up and make sure that we get her to her client get her to the church on time. And but Piloxing.com, but what certifications, anything coming up that's close that someone can join, or maybe take a class, or anything coming?
We just have tons and tons and tons of workshops, just all shifted over to virtual right now. So anywhere in the world, pretty much, you can find a class in your language or find a workshop in your language to take. So on our website, you can find all of that there. Yeah.
Cool.
www.piloxing.com. And yes, This is such a special moment, and I know, like, I could sit and talk all day, but
I know.
some of my best, it was really like, you guys launched not just a master training career for me, but it was in such a pivotal time. And we talk about sleek, sexy, powerful, and these are some sleek, sexy, powerful women, and it really filled my soul to be a part of that. And I hope to be a part of it more with the booty bands, but I still got my gloves.
They're never too far away, you know?
They're never too far. I know.
And on that note, I just want to say this, and I love that. Thank you for showing those gloves and everything, because I do think, because what we did, we were aiming for getting women workout and feeling sleek, sexy, and powerful. And you know what? Exercise is not just about just burning calories. Exercise is about here and feeling something. It's a release. You got that, and when you have that groups that you are connected to, and that is so important, and more important than we thinking of doing burpees and so on. I love burpees, but like having that, it's so much more than just a physical aspect of it.
Yeah.
No question about it. And I know you're pioneering all of that work as well, the mental and the feeling piece that goes into piloxing. Well, listen, guys, this has been a phenomenal fun. I wish we could do this another half hour, but we also have other people to go service and to be with. And we thank you so much, Viveca and Cortney from Piloxing. Please go check out their website, and that'll send you in the direction that you need to go, whether it's classes or education or certifications or otherwise. So you guys have a great rest of your week.
And you too. Thank you so much.
We appreciate this a lot.
You're very welcome.
You.
Our pleasure. Good to see you both.
Yes.